Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, 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 Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah. All harmonies are welcome. Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah. So welcome to our Tuesday afternoon where I am. Not sure what time it is where you are. It might be, I'm not sure about for Kay Alohilani, but it might be afternoon for most of us. And I just want to share with you that some thunderstorms are moving in. If our meeting ends, that's why. And I encourage you to, wherever we are in our meeting, if it ends, just to continue your being with being. How about that? Sounds pretty great. So we'll start with the Sufi invocation. If you know it, you can join in. If you don't, just see how the vibrations, the sounds, the words land in your body, and then of course I think we'll sing a song, and then we'll move into our meditation. Today we'll do a body scan, and back by popular demand or popular request maybe, and then we'll end with our metta practice, our loving kindness practice. So sitting in your seat, on your floor, on your bed, on your chair, wherever you are. And I just love this moment because it's like turning toward ourselves and meeting ourselves where we are. There's nothing that needs to change, no thing. We just begin to bring the light of awareness, which is always happening all the time at some level. Just bring the light of awareness to maybe welcoming ourselves. So if it feels good to you, you can close your eyes, and or you can keep them open. If you keep them open, I suggest, and do whatever feels good and right to you, is kind of a soft focus. What I learned in the Zen monastery many years ago is a soft focus about a 45-degree angle down, just so you're not, see how you do with not focusing on anything specific. And if you feel comfortable closing the eyes, one of the practices that I've loved as being on the Sufi path is to welcome everybody into my home as though they were God. And I love doing that. I love doing, like, being a hostess and finding all these ways that I can please and delight people in small ways. And so let's greet ourselves in this moment as if we're welcoming God, because we are. So seeing how you can allow seeing how you can feel receptive, welcome yourself with receptivity and perhaps some curiosity, certainly compassion. Feeling your bottom on the chair or whatever you're sitting on. Remembering that you are inhabiting this body fully. Sometimes I feel like I'm a walking head when I forget that I'm in this body. What does it feel like in this moment to be alive in this body, in this moment? Finding the gentle tide of breath as it moves into the body, as it sweeps in. And as it gently, with no resistance, leaves the body. Allowing this experience of breath to be pleasant, maybe extremely pleasant. Allowing the belly to soften. If you notice any tightness, and allowing the exhales to be soft and complete. Allowing the edges to begin to soften, to blur, to be ambiguous. This sense of, allow this sense of inner and outer to be ambiguous. Relaxing back on your seat, even if it's just a half a millimeter. Inviting in ease. And let's take one more full breath together and we'll say the Sufi invocation. Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the mystery, the spirit of guidance. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin in the name of the one most merciful and compassionate. We begin from this from the deepest, darkest interiority, this birthing place, this where everything is possible, everything is potential. From this moist, verdant home, we extend ourselves or we wash ourselves with mercy and with compassion as we wash others with mercy and compassion. Amen. I'd like to share a beautiful Mary Oliver poem. Somebody sent me a picture of the I think of the first line. It was in an art gallery, and I found the poem online. It's really quite lovely. So, my work is loving the world. I'm going to say that again because I'm on board. My work is loving the world. Here, the sunflowers. There, the hummingbird. Equal seekers of sweetness. Here, the quickening yeast. There, the blue plums. Here, the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? I am no longer young and still not half perfect. Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, and the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. Finish my sound. Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, 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 Bismillah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. 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 Bismillah. From this dark wombs, birthing place, from the same place that creates everything. Mercy, the most tender mercy that you can uncover in this moment. Compassion. Whatever that means to you. I like to think of it as being with what is so, with no resistance. We begin again and again and again. All harmonies are welcome. Sing your compassion. Bismillah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah. feeling. Relaxing back. If it's enjoyable, if it's an enjoyable image to you, imagine yourself just kind of slipping into the perfect temperature bath water. Understand and feel yourself to be this aware, loving presence with which all experience is known, in which all experience arises, and out of which all experience is made. We live in this body. As Mary Oliver says, these body clothes with a mind and a heart and a mouth with which to give shouts of joy. All of which is made of this open, loving awareness, this open, loving presence that is. And so today, let's take a pleasant journey through these body clothes with all these we've named. So first we have the name body, and then we have all these different names and subcategories for each kind of part of the body. So let's visit each of these today, and let's greet them, welcome them, receive you as you're receiving God. To getting a kind of a generalized awareness of the entire body for these few moments. Wow. Now let's turn our most loving attention to the head. And as we go through this body scan, let's imagine as we are relaxing back in this bathtub of ease and peace and equanimity. Let's imagine that we're going to be traveling through the body almost like if you were in a bubble bath and the bubbles were just ever so slowly and pleasantly moving down the body. That's what our attention will be like today. So we'll start with the top of the head. Imagining or welcoming, greeting your scalp. This place where, for those of us who have hair comes from, grows out of. All the hair follicles that allow this to happen. Imagining the surface, the outer surface of the scalp, cradling the skull. And the inner surface of the scalp being fluid, moist, and easy along the skull. Allowing the belly to stay soft as we move through this journey today. Allowing the edges to remain ambiguous and blurry. And imagining or visiting the brain, your gorgeous brain inside of the skull and all of its mysteries and nooks and crannies and turns and neural pathways that allow thousands of things to happen in the body that we don't even pay attention to, that we're not aware of. And seeing how in this moment you can simply allow the brain to relax back, whatever that means to you. When we rest and when we sleep at night, the brain shrinks, for the lack of a better word, shrinks slightly. So the cerebral fluid can wash over it to remove any toxins, to allow for any growth. Any restoration, any healing. Seeing how you can feel the gratitude. Feel the gratitude for this part of the body that allows you to function in the world in the way that you do. Now let's bring our most loving attention to the face, to what I've heard, perhaps you've heard Asha call many times, the social mask. Noticing where you might be holding your face in a way so it might be more pleasing to someone who might be looking at you in this moment. And seeing how you can allow the built-in survival strategy to be accepted as part of the tribe. Seeing how you can let that go for this moment. Seeing how you can allow your face to be the face you were born with. Allowing the eyes to relax back in their sockets. And smoothing the brow. And if you notice any tightness or holding in any part of this meditation today, seeing how you can allow your in-breath to be a softening agent into this area of holding, and allow the out-breath to be like a surfboard, to allow this holding to simply ride out with the breath. And if it helps, you can make like a sigh with the out-breath. Noticing the mouth. Can you bring any more ease and relaxation to the mouth in this moment? The tongue. I like to allow the front tip of my tongue to rest just behind my upper teeth. So the palate, upper palate. Do whatever feels easiest and best to you. With this next in-breath, softening all the little tiny micro muscles that we have around the mouth. Seeing, even if it feels like you're pretending, just seeing how you can let the mouth be. Checking in with the jaw, noticing if the jaw is tight or clenched, perhaps unhinging the jaw, maybe a half an inch or an inch, so your teeth aren't tight together. And again, if you find any, well, let's all take a softening in-breath into the area of the jaw. And allow any tightness to ride on the breath, right out of the body. Bringing your most tender attention, your most merciful attention to the throat. And if there's any part of the body that you would be useful for you to lightly touch as we move through, please feel free to do that. The throat is often where unspoken words or unexpressed emotions can get stuck. So let's bring this loving, softening in breath into the throat and allowing whatever is ripe and ready to be released to ride out with the breath. Allowing the throat to open and feel spacious. Let's come now to the back of the body, to the back of the neck and the shoulders. And in fact, let's bring the shoulders up to the ears and then circle them back. Only if this feels good to you. If you've got shoulder issues, take care of yourself, of course. Up and back and around, really slowly. And now let's reverse the direction. And now let's raise the shoulders to the ears and then simply let them drop. Not, doesn't have to be graceful. It's like kind of an abrupt drop. Just letting them go up, 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 and let them drop. One more time. Noticing the sensations in maybe the back of your neck and your shoulders. Breathing in this loving, softening presence into the shoulders. Reminding your shoulders that they can let go, you're safe, it's okay. In these moments, in these next 20 moments or so, they don't need to hold on to anything. And allowing the soap bubbles in your bubble bath to slide down your back. These love bubbles. When my son was young, we used to blow love bubbles across the moon to his grandparents who lived in another state at the time. So let's let these pink luminous love bubbles slide down the back, bringing your loving, merciful attention and care with them. Imagining the erector spinae on either side of the spine that really are on maybe all of the time when we're upright, allowing us to be upright, extending our gratitude. All the little intercostal muscles between the ribs that expand and contract just enough to allow the rib cage to move as you breathe. And all the other many muscles that do what they do, that allows your body to do what it does. And now let's bring the attention to the front of the body, up on the chest, these long, strong pectoral muscles that you have that begin at the sternum in the center of the chest, and they extend out to the clavicles, softening and lengthening on the in-breath, maybe allowing them to expand open a little more than you normally would in this moment. And now let's bring our mercy and compassion to what our dear Asha would call the heart cave. And if it feels useful and it feels good, you can gently rest, almost like you're listening with your hand over, I like to use my left hand over the heart, sensing, feeling. Noticing the sensation in the heart right now. You don't need to apply specific words if you don't want to, but just simply noticing kind of the vibratory experience. Is there any kind of sense of contraction that might be associated with worry or fear, busyness? We're simply meeting ourselves where we are. We're not trying to fix. There is no thing to fix. We're bringing our most kind and caring attention and awareness to each part of our body. Maybe you're noticing kind of an experience of expansiveness. Maybe there's a softening and a melting and opening. There's no shoulds, just being with what is so, with yourself. And maybe this part of you, this heart cave, feels neutral right now. Maybe there's nothing that, maybe it's just neutral. Allowing, welcoming, receiving, being curious, loving. And allowing these soap bubbles to come now from the tops of your arms, allowing them to kind of ease down your arms. And when you get to the elbows, seeing how you can breathe a little extra space in the elbows. Even if you're not quite sure what that means, really. Bringing your deep appreciation to the forearms and all these little muscles and ligaments that allow your fingers and hands to just perform miracles all the time, every day. Breathing a little extra space into the wrist. And now down into the hands, another set of impossible miracles. All the metacarpals, the bones, the ligaments, the muscles, the tendons. Just amazing. Feeling what it feels like to be alive in this moment in your hands, inside your hands. Maybe your palms are tingling or your hands are tingling. Maybe they feel a little more expansive or expanded than they did earlier. Maybe not. And now returning to the torso, and I like to bring my right hand to my solar plexus. It's the little triangle at the top of the rib cage. Oh, drawing in a softening, loving breath. This is where we often or sometimes gird against the difficulties in life. We kind of steel ourselves against difficult emotions. Here, difficult relationships might get caught here. Difficult conversations. Allowing these luminous love bubbles that are moving down your body ever so slowly to come down to the belly. I like to move my left hand now over the belly and seeing how soft and ripe and round you can let the belly be in this moment. It's so counter-cultural. Let's be revolutionary here for a few moments. Letting the belly be, just letting it be. This place that again, we might carry some of the girding down into the belly. But imagining this mysterious garden, this mysterious birthing place here, this deep, deep, dark interiority. This is perhaps this is the home of all creation creating itself in this moment. Maybe it's in every cell in the body, probably. But seeing how you can breathe in this softening, loving, reassuring breath. And allowing the love bubbles to slide over the hips and the pelvis, softening. And these bubbles continue to travel down the tops of your legs, around your buttocks, down your long bones, your femurs, the muscles on the front, the quadriceps, the long, strong muscles, and the long, strong muscles on the backs of the legs, the hamstrings that allow you to move around, to move your legs. Slipping now down toward the knees and around the knees, the fronts of the knees, breathing a little space under the patella where it meets the bones of the upper and the lower legs. Around the backs of the knees that are vulnerable and tender. Sliding, these love bubbles keep sliding down the legs, softening and lengthening the muscles in the calves and the shins, the front of the legs. Oh, down to the ankles, this complexity, this miracle. Breathing a little space into the ankles where a lot of bones come together. And allowing these luminous love bubbles to kind of rest around your feet, the tops and the bottoms of your feet. And understanding and feeling yourself to be the aware, loving presence with which all experience is known. And for our metta practice today, let's find a place, perhaps it's an internal place within you or someplace in the world that might be suffering. And it's not greedy to send this loving kindness to a place within you that is suffering, might be suffering. Let's take a moment or two to find the place internally or externally where we want to share this loving presence, this radical acceptance. And change the wording if it's an I for yourself. May you be well and happy. May you find ease and peace. May you see beauty and feel loved and loving. And may you feel yourself to be the aware, loving presence. So I'll ring the bell 3 times, and when you no longer hear the sound of the bell, you can open your eyes. Give yourself to love. See you next week. Bye.